Hello guys, it's your boy Jeremiah The Revelous here. It's a new day, it's a new review. Don't forget to subscribe to your boy for movie reviews. And today I'm going to be reviewing The Bride. So The Bride is the first remake we got of The Bride of Frankenstein. We just had a Frankenstein movie that was done last year, the Guillermo del Toro version, and that movie was great. And now we have this version, but of The Bride of Frankenstein. And this movie is a lot different. It takes place in the 30s and is more like it's supposed to be like a Bonnie and Clyde type of film. When I watched the trailers, that's made me interested in this movie because of the monster played by Christian Bale, which he adopts the name Frankenstein, so he calls himself Frankenstein in this movie. And then you got Jessie Buckley, she plays the bride. And watching the trailers, it looked like I was watching like a version of Bonnie and Clyde or like Joker and Harley Quinn. Like it had that feel of, natural born killers type of feel. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a cool, interesting take on the film, right? So I go into this movie, and what do I think about it? The movie's okay. It's not great. It's not like how I thought it would be. You know what I mean? I'm going to go into what I liked more about the film, and that is Christian Bale and Jessie Buckley. Christian Bale as Frankenstein, as the monster, he is great. He's lonely. He's been around for so many years. He's done so many things, but he doesn't have a companion. He has nobody that he can love or speak to. So he's looking for a way for somebody to make him a bride. Finally gets that, and you got Jessie Buckley. She's the bride. What was interesting is she's kind of possessed by Mary Shelley, the person that originally wrote the Frankenstein novel, which was unique in a way and interesting. She kind of takes over her mind at times. But the problem is, it didn't really go nowhere. It was cool at first, but it didn't really go nowhere. But Jessie Buckley, she did a really good job as the bride. When, her, trying to remember her past. And I like the fact that Frankenstein, he doesn't want her to remember her past. He kind of wants her to remember that they knew each other in the past life. Because he really cares for her. He's really trying to show how much he cares. And he really wants her to like him. You know what I mean? And, you kind of feel bad for him, but also at the same time, you say, man, he should tell her the truth. You know what I'm saying? And then she's always trying to, force herself to remember things. Because I guess she was very important in, her previous life. She knew a lot of information, when it comes to, being in the gangster world and everything like that. It kind of with her and Frankie and their relationship, it kind of goes back and forth a little bit. And, them trying to fall in love with each other, and they finally do fall in love with each other. It was really cool. It was what really made the movie work, But everything else around it, to me, did not work. You know what I'm saying? So they have these detectives. They have one that's played by Penelope Cruz. And I felt like they were dry. They had no gravitas at all in the movie for me, personally. When they started focusing on them, it's like, I don't care about them. Because they didn't, the writer or the director didn't give me any thing to care about them. You know what I'm saying? It was just they're just there trying to solve a case, you know what I'm saying, of the massacre that Frankie and freaking the bride is doing, you know what I'm saying? But it was it didn't felt like they were investigating, you know what I'm saying? It just, if you're in a crime movie, if this is also a crime film, you want to have good investigators. You want to have investigators and detectives that you're rooting for, or you really want to engage. So you gotta throw in something that could get us to know and invest with the detectives, you know. And that really didn't work because when they're on the screen, it just makes the movie dull. It doesn't make it fun. But when you have Christian Bale and Jesse Buckley on the screen together, that's what makes the movie. And that's what kept me watching the movie. This is, you know, this movie kind of suffers what Dracula suffered, the new Dracula movie, but this movie had more potential than the Dracula film. You know what I'm saying? And also there was like a scene where, you know, because, you know, she knows things, she has like intuition with, you know, with the underground, but they didn't go any further with that. There was like, you know, like in the Joker, you know, his madness caused people like to riot and become him. Similar to The Bride, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't go anywhere. And I was like saying to myself, oh, this may go somewhere where like, you know, she becomes like a new head of like a group, or like, you know, of a gangster group, and like Frankie's the muscle, you know what I'm saying? And she's, you know, trying to get her revenge on the gangster that put her in the grave. That, like, right there, that would have been more interesting than what they did here. It was very all over the place, and then there were certain scenes that made no sense whatsoever. And I was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. Why are we doing this? Because it had no explanation to it at all. It was just, oh, we're just going to do this, and yeah, that's it. So this movie had a lot of ups and downs, you know, and I really wish if they would have focused more on The Bride and on Frankenstein, this movie would have been a lot more better. And the ending was good. I liked the ending, how it ended. But overall, I feel like the execution wasn't there. It had a lot of good potential, and it had a lot of good stuff. But I felt like the execution did not hit. You know, and I feel bad because I was really looking forward to this movie, and it kind of disappointed me. I did like it better than Dracula. Yes, I did. It was like way better than Dracula. But still, it just didn't hit right. So what did I rate this movie? Is it a love? Is it a hate? Or is it something in between? Well, I'm going to have to give it a wait for it. That's why wait for it till it comes out on streaming. Because, like, this is one of those movies that you could watch on streaming. It's okay enough. It's enjoyable enough if you're into Frankenstein, or you were into this movie, or into Bonnie and Clyde. You know, it's enjoyable enough. That's what I think. It had that cool Joker vibe and Harley Quinn vibe, which I did like. But overall, everything went downhill. A lot of the other characters were just dry. I felt like they were just thrown in there. They didn't give us good time to develop with them. It's like, did everything to focus on Frankenstein and The Bride, but they didn't give us a grander story, which I was really hoping for. And the whole Mary Shelley thing didn't really make the movie better, or it didn't even progress the movie or make the movie more interesting, which I was kind of bummed about that. So like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought about The Bride. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or was something in between? Let me know. And also, you know what? Let me know what's your favorite Frankenstein film. Like, what's your favorite version of the Frankenstein films? Let me know in the comment section. Also, make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to get 500 subscribers. Help a boy out. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate y'all. I try to do a video every week. Get into the rabbit hole. I dare you. And I'll see you when I see you. Peace.